Hey guys, KZ from BGnR Outdoors. Today I'm going to bring you guys a video on my steps of growing mushrooms. It's probably the easiest. If you read online and in the forums, they probably go through they probably do their own stuff too, so everyone's got a different procedure. I think mine's the easiest since you don't have to deal with, heating stuff up and all that stuff. But I'll talk you guys through the steps. Don't send me any hate mail because I don't care. This steps have worked for me. This procedure's worked for me. So I'm not gonna change anything if it's working. And I've grew a lot of mushrooms already. I don't know if I could grow more if I followed, the right steps and stuff. But hey, it's enough for me. The first thing you'll need is a source of the spawn. I got mine through Home Depot. When I was walking around, I saw a little discount aisle, and I saw this little mushroom in a box. It was blue mushrooms that you grow at home. I guess it was for kids. All I did was cut a slit in it, spray some water, and the mushrooms grew. And after 3 times, it's basically done. And you can use the block that was inside to actually grow more mushrooms if you followed their steps and stuff like that. And this is basically what I'm doing, but I've already done that already. So I'm using this spawn that I have, and this is what I've grown from the last step. See? You see that white stuff? That is all mushrooms right there. It's all oyster mushroom spawn. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to break it up and put it into the new hay that I've created. Or not created, I've processed. I didn't create anything. But let's go through what you need. This video will probably be broken into separate parts because this is the first step, and then the second step you've got to, I'll talk you guys into everything. So let's start with what equipment you need. Guys, I just wanted to show you guys this quick area in my garage. It's the grow room. I have this little tent, this greenhouse tent from Amazon, which is real nice, that I use to put the buckets in, because we're going to use buckets. And what I usually do every day, is spray in there. It creates a nice humidity. These buckets right here, I think they have one more flush left, so I'm gonna let them grow. And I'm just gonna use, this one I showed you guys earlier. This mycelium or whatever it's called. See, I don't even know the scientific name for these things, but I'm just gonna use this broken into many blocks. Here's the stuff that you need. You need a fill bucket to fill water. Pickling lime. Got this at Walmart. A little pickling section. Look, got spider web in there. It's where you get the canned stuff for when you, I think when you can stuff in the pressure washer, mason jar, stuff like that, or pressure cooker, not washer. A drill bit with the drill. 1/2 inch, that's for those little circles right there. That's where the mushrooms will grow out. And then a little 3/8 drill bit for the bottom. I drill 4 holes around the bottom. That way some of the water can drain out. And then a 1/3 cup measuring spoon. I use 1/3 cup of pickling lime to 5 gallons of water. A black plastic bag. Black is real good because it blocks out a light. And then the buckets that I use, as you can see, is the Lowe's one because they are blue and they're dark. They keep the light out, and that helps a lot. So that's really, actually, hay is the last thing that you need, and then the container to hold the hay in to soak. And the hay I got at Lowe's. The hay bales are pretty big, so I accidentally bought 2 when I really only needed 1, and 1 would make maybe 10 to 12 buckets. So it'll last a long time. Just keep it in a dry area. I keep it in the shed so that way it don't get wet. And really, that's all you need. Here's the hay, and I got it in a little cooler right now. I don't know what size the cooler is, but this is probably enough for 2.5 buckets. I put a little bit more in. You can see when compressed, it's still got a lot of room for the liquid and stuff. You'll also need some blocks. You can put it on there to weigh the hay down. Stuff like that. There you go. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this bucket up with about 5 gallons of water. Then I'm going to put the 1/3 cup of pickling lime in there and just pour it into this cooler. And wait about 2 hours minimum. So let's get that done. All right, here's the water, pickling lime, 1/3 cup, right in. Make sure you stir it real good. There you have it. Alright guys, this is what the water looks like after you put the pickling lime in it. Like I said, 1/3 cup per 5 gallon. This is not really 5 gallon, but it's close enough. You really don't have to be precise. And the pickling lime, this water is used for, I guess, killing all the bad stuff that could be growing in these this hay right here. So basically you just want like a clean slate for your mushrooms or your mycelium. Look, I used the big word for the mushroom spawn or the mycelium to grow. You don't want no competition and stuff. If you saw that spawn I had, it was white from just mushrooms and it smelled clean, and that thing's probably been going for about 3 months. So you really need this water. I guess you could try growing. I never tried growing it without the water and the pickling lime. Maybe you could try it and see how it worked for you. So let's pour that in. That's perfectly 2 5-gallon buckets or 10 gallons. Maybe a little more, a little less, but this stuff right here is just all surface stuff that floats. You gotta worry about that, but everything else is submerged. So you let this sit for 2 hours minimum. If you got time, you can sit for longer. It really doesn't hurt anything. So just wait, I guess, now. But while you're waiting, you can do the buckets and stuff. I'll probably get the buckets prepped and ready. And like I said, this is what I do. If you actually follow what a lot of guys tell you, you've got to chop this hay up into little fine pieces, probably as fine as this. I mean, that's probably like half a day's work right there, cutting, chopping stuff up. And then you gotta heat the hay up to a certain temperature and let it sit for an hour, etc., etc. And then you gotta wait for it to cool down, because if it's not cooled down enough, you'll kill the mycelium. Oh, look, I used another big word, or the same big word. But that's it. So we'll wait 2 hours. You can see some of the air coming up from that's a good thing. The air coming up from the pockets down there. So while we're waiting for this to get ready, you can close the lid, or if not, if you want, just make sure you got a drain to drain. Make sure the hose plugged. I don't have a drain here, so that's good. But that's how I usually just keep it sitting up like this. Guys, I forgot to mention, when you get the bucket, make sure you get the lids. Those are sold separately, so it doesn't come with the buckets, and they're usually on another aisle. At least at Lowe's they are. So what we're gonna do now is drill little holes. This is the 3/8 inch drill bit, and I usually put them in every corresponding corners or sides, or these got no corners but sides, I guess it's a circle. And this helps drain out the liquid. If you don't squeeze enough of that lime juice out of the hay, you really don't want that extra liquid, you know, pooling up in the bucket, which is bad for the mycelium. So I'm gonna drill some holes and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Alright, since we're done with the bottom holes, now we're going to do the hole on the sides. And if you can see from my old buckets, that's what they look like. That one's 3 holes. So I just like to follow this rule that I use. This is the max line that you go up, and you split it into 3s. So 1, 2, right here where this little thing is, and then 3 at the bottom. And then when you get done with this side, you just go to opposite side, do 3 there, and then, you know, do it opposite corners, basically, even though a circle has no corners. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. Again, it doesn't have to look pretty or anything. And make sure you clean out the little the leftover plastic from inside. I like shopping at Lowe's, guys. They're really military friendly. But oh no, it's stuck. Now since you have the 4 corners or the 4 points drilled out, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you just go in between and cut those in half with 3s also. And then if you want to go in between those 3s with 2s, that's fine. Why drill more when that works out? So I'm just gonna drill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 more holes, and this bucket will be done, and I'll work on my second bucket. Alright guys, here's what it looks like with all the holes drilled out. Like I said, in between those 3 you could probably put 2 if you wanted to, but why drill more than you need to? One extra step I like doing, even though I like getting rid of steps, I like to rub these down, or the inside down, with rubbing alcohol. I rub the inside, the bottom, the top, and also the bottom of the lid down with some rubbing alcohol. That just helps to kill all the nasties or the stuff that can contaminate the hay and stuff. So that is it for the buckets, and now all you have to do is wait for that hay to get done. Alright guys, we're almost done. So what we're gonna do now is squeeze out all this liquid and fill the buckets up. And I've already wiped down the inside of these with the alcohol, and I left the cap on. So you might want to wear some gloves. I don't, but I don't know what's in this pickling lime stuff. It makes your hands feel kind of slippery or something when it dries, but it hadn't been a problem for me. And this is, like I said, the spawn that I'm going to use. All I'm going to do is just break it up, and it's some nice looking. It's nice looking. It smells good too. But I'll put a layer of the new stuff and a little layer of the, you know, the spawn. We'll just stack it up until it gets full. So what you want to do is just squeeze it the best as you can. You don't have to be, you know, perfectly dry. And then press it down. Just keep going. This can be kind of messy, so try to wear something that you don't mind getting dirty. You can see how low that gets when you press it down. I don't know if you can see this. And you sprinkle. Spawn right on top. And you keep going, keep repeating. So that's how it looks when you put the spawn on top. I want to put new hay, spawn, new hay, spawn until I get all the way to the top. Alright, once I get done with that, we'll show you what you need to do. Last step. Alright guys, once you got everything done, all you gotta do is put the lid on, make sure it's tight, and then what I like to do is I like to let it drain out a little bit. You can see it coming out already. That's all the excessive stuff, and all this stuff you can wipe out. I forgot to remind you guys, if you guys are using an old spawn, let me pull this out. I mean, you probably haven't gotten to this point, but if you do, when you're digging through this, make sure there's no mold or nothing, or no weird growth. You can see this looks nice and clean, so that's why I was able to still use it. So once this is drained, I give it about 30 minutes to an hour. All you do is you put it in a bag. It's pretty heavy. Put it in a black bag. And that's it. Just let the bag sit loosely on top. That way some air can get in there. And you put this in a dark area. I like putting it in my basement. And then just let it sit for a couple weeks. And then you check it every week and make sure, you know, everything's growing good and stuff like that. But I appreciate you guys watching the video. I'll bring another one maybe in a week or two showing you what it looks like. I'll just open it. You know, it's fresh. What it looks like during the phase of growth and stuff like that. So, you guys like the video, make sure you check like. You want to see more of these, make sure you subscribe, because we'll bring you guys more videos like this. And thanks for watching again. If you have any questions, make sure you ask below and we'll try to answer as best we can. So take care guys, and happy growing mushrooms.